Good day and welcome to Spotlight, the news and information show on your own channel 977 and on YouTube about people and events of interest to Lake Monticello. Today, our spotlight falls on Jennifer Schmack, Fluvanna County's new Economic Development Director, and on the County Administrator, Eric Dahl. Miss Schmack was born and raised in the Tidewater area of Virginia, and since she was a teenager, worked with public service, notably starting with Suffolk Fire and Rescue and working her way up into increasing positions with economic development. Mr. Dahl is a native, born and raised in Minnesota, graduate of Florida Gulf Coast University, and he has been county administrator since 2019, July of 2019, and having been in the county administration for a total of 11 years now. Welcome to you both. It's nice to have you with us out here on the patio at the pub at Lake Monticello. Eric Dahl, would you refresh us, please, on the four designated economic development growth areas and, broadly speaking, what they contain?
Yeah, certainly. So we have the Rivanna, the CPA, which is also, can be considered a growth area, which is really around kind of the Lake Monticello area. I guess if you kind of what's heard of as the Beltway around the lake, 53 going to South Boston and 6 to 18, that really kind of encompasses the Rivanna CPA or that growth area. We also have Palmyra, which is kind of down around the roundabout at 15 and 53. That area really encompasses really kind of the village of Palmyra, kind of going across the Rivanna River a little bit, and kind of also contains, on the other side there where E.W. Thomas's is. We also have the Zion's Crossroads growth area, certainly well named right around 250 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
And that growth area really kind of runs down a little bit 15 south and kind of goes 250 west going towards Albemarle County. We also have the Fork Union growth area, which is it's a pretty, it's a little bit of a larger area, but really kind of encompasses 15 and 6 down in Fork Union.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the four main ones. We also have a couple smaller designated CPAs, which is Columbia, the former town of Columbia.
Oh,
And then also Fluvanna County does have a little portion of Scottsville as well. But those two are the lesser probably discussed growth areas in the county.
Yeah, okay. Jennifer Schmack, you say that you've been working since you've come on a strategic plan for economic development in the county. What does your plan call for? How are you going about putting it together?
So we are currently working on a strategic plan. The county has contracted with Platinum PR to do the back end work for us. And we've had a lot of input from county staff, the Board of Supervisors, the Economic Development Authority, as well as major community stakeholders and business leaders. So we've had a multitude of meetings. All of that data has been collected, put together, and they found some common themes. Their common themes seem to be business retention, business attraction, workforce development, tourism. Those are going to be our main goals moving forward. So what we're doing now is formulating what the action items will be. And from there, we'll re-present to the Board of Supervisors for adoption.
Hmm. Within that, are there any particular businesses, well, in the broad categories, you sort of cover this, but any particular kinds of businesses you're looking for, or what you would not like to see?
So we do have a target industry list that was created through the Central Virginia Partnership for Economic Development. And that list includes agribusiness, which is, the quiet one of your industries. Some wood manufacturing, as well as some light industrial and those types of things. Mhm.
Just to clarify, when we speak of the Palmyra district, and you've mentioned, Eric, sort of what it encompasses, how does this relate to the historic village itself?
Well, really from the historic kind of, again, the village of Palmyra, the area of some of the county buildings there, it's on the National Register. You
Yeah.
got the old stone jail, the historic courthouse, those are on the National Historic Register. And some of that, is certainly within our comprehensive growth area. Now, it's not as much of a growth area as you think of maybe as Zion's Crossroads,
Yeah.
where we're looking at larger development, larger commercial development there. But it's still considered a growth area, although maybe it's more smaller business that we're looking to bring into the village at some point and expand it from there. Or maybe it's some land right across from the Rivanna River or by E.W. Thomas's
Yeah.
down in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there were a few stores. I think some of them have maybe become almost non-governmental agencies right along Main Street. But of course, State Farm used to be there, and I don't know who, if anyone has replaced them. I guess there's still a couple. I'm not sure if any of those are vacant or not.
Yeah, some of the buildings and businesses are there. I mean, there's what do we have?
The Scrappy Elephant,
Scrappy Elephant.
Chamber of Commerce,
Yep,
Totes My Goats, they do the goat milk body soap,
yep.
as well as Time Marches On. It's a clock, I guess they do clock repair as well as
Restoration.
That's it. Yeah. My gosh, that's interesting. Heck of a lost art, huh?
So yeah, so in that area, at some point, some of the county functions are in some of the older, what are considered old storefront buildings there, and there's a plan at some point for a new county administration building closer to the library. And so at some point, there'll be some transition. The county is certainly not moving out of the village of Palmyra. We've got the courthouse and the administration building
Right,
there.
right.
So that'll kind of always be there, but there'll certainly be, hopefully some efforts down the way to expand that business space a little bit in the village.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. We apparently have had some other recent successes. The attraction of silk printing from, for heaven's sakes, my old stomping ground of Patterson, New Jersey, and I guess the planned solar field up near the junction of Route 600 and 53, that roundabout up there. I guess any others that recently have come in?
Yes, so Stuart Tool. So we had Silk City Printing in 2020. Stuart Tool came to us in 2021. It's a metal fabricating, I guess that's the best way to
Oh,
describe them, business. They're coming out of California.
heaven's sakes.
So they are expanding over here on the East Coast. That was a $9 million investment with 22 new jobs. So yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. In addition to that, there is a lot of small business growth throughout the county. We're seeing a lot of new small business pop up everywhere, as well as some that are expanding. So there is a lot of activity going on here in Fluvanna.
Well, that's really good news, because the small business is really, as many say, the engine that drives things. So that's wonderful. Now, part of it, you mentioned the Fork Union district, and to the creation now of an industrial park down behind the Fork Union Community Center. Eric, has the historic problems with the Fork Union Water District been cleared up to make an industrial park possible?
So right now, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, we are the county's kind of in the process of creating what we like to call a business park or commerce park down there, which would contain some light industrial businesses or maybe some agribusinesses as well behind the community center. So right now, the available water is the Fork Union Sanitary District. So there is some water capacity, some initial small water capacity for some of those long-term water capacity countywide is going to be through the James River Water Authority, and that's the partnership between Fluvanna and Louisa County, which will be a raw water intake down in the James River, and that will supply both Fluvanna and Louisa with our basically our 50-year water supply. And for the county, that'll provide water for us up at Zion's Crossroads, as well as we've got some potential good things that happen down in the Fork Union area as well for having larger water supplies. In addition, the county got some proffers from Dominion Energy from the kind of the closing of their coal ash plant down
Oh,
there
yes, yes.
in the at the former Bremo Power Station. So the county is getting a $50 million proffer for water supply improvements down in the Fork Union area, which will help the county
Oh,
offset some of the costs from the James River Water Authority, as well as providing a lot of new water supply improvements in Fork Union.
I would say I was gonna I was gonna go to the water authority, the joint water authority, and water from the James next, because that's the hydra headed, if you pardon the half pun there. But water on the one hand coming from the women's prison and then eastward to Zion Crossroads. And then, Eric, as you mentioned, water from the James on up through Fluvanna to Louisa at Ferncliff, and then westward
Yep.
to Zion. So how are these proceeding?
So I mean the project right now for the James River Water Authority, we've got good forward momentum right now. We had original intake location down near the Point of Fork. After some long trials and tribulations with that location, an alternative analysis showed some other potentials, and we've been doing further study at an alternative location about 2 miles upstream from the original location.
Right.
The James River Water Authorities moved forward with a lot of the phase one cultural resource work, which is which was proof promising that we are not encountering a lot of historic resources in that area, and the Monacan Indian Nation has also given the James River Water Authority a tentative kind of support of going that route. So we've
Yeah.
got some good forward momentum for long-term water for both Fluvanna and Louisa. And then again, as I said, that water, as you stated, will go up towards Louisa County. But in addition, that water does direct and go back towards Zion's Crossroads, which Fluvanna has a connection to that as well.
Yeah. It did certainly delay things. However, obviously that concern for the Monacan Nation. But
Yep.
anyway, it's been worked out. So so onward onward and upward. Yeah,
We are staying positive and moving in a good forward direction.
yeah. Jennifer, you and Eric, you just mentioned the proffer from Dominion, but Jennifer, what kind of proffers can we offer to companies for maybe considering locating to Fluvanna, and what kind of help, if any, do we get from the state?
Sure, that's a great question. So we do receive incentives from the state based upon capital investment and job creation. So those are done through the governor's office, through Virginia Economic Development Partnership, as well as the Department of Agriculture. So there are some different incentives that can be tapped in if it's a qualifying project. Additionally, there are some funds available with the Virginia Tourism Commission. And in most of those cases, they do require a county contribution or a locality contribution. Those contributions can come in the form of different incentives that we can offer here, or just in different in-kind incentives as well. Here in Fluvanna, we have a couple different things that we work on, just simply having an economic development office to be able to help usher a business through the startup phase and into full production. That is a great incentive because a business would like to see, that start to finish, how quick can we get up,
Yeah.
and running, and to be able to get through the site plan process and, in some cases rezoning. These are incentives themselves, right? In addition to that, we also have custom tailored incentives based on the company's need. So Silk City was one that we have done, and that one was based on job creation. I believe that they received, was it $1,000 a job?
Yep.
For their first 93 jobs. And then after that, the state would take over with their finishing their incentives.
Very cool.
So that was the custom tailored Fluvanna solution for that one.
Taylor. That's so cool.
And yes, it depends on the business and what they're looking for.
Oh, well, that sounds very promising. Jennifer, I think somewhere along the line, someone quoted you, I hope accurately, or perhaps, but, that well, we don't deal in rumors, you know that, that perhaps you're thinking of getting more involved in the Cal Tri event here at Lake Monticello next year.
So I have been talking with the LMOA communications department about that, as well as the director themselves. So yes, I will help out and assist in any way I can, but I'm not participating.
Okay, you're not going to do that. All right.
No.
You're not up for that cross the lake or however.
I watched the last one. That's not my thing.
Okay. Any other activity here at the lake you think that economic development could be interested in?
There's a couple things that are percolating. We've got a couple different projects that we can't really go to the next level with right now for discussion, but there are a couple of things that are exciting, and I think that will be really great for the community, a great fit for Lake Monticello and Fluvanna County.
Oh, that's terrific. That's terrific to hear. Is there anything else we haven't covered, we've missed that you'd like to enter into here? Anything else that you can think?
No, I mean, I think the only thing, we are certainly, just talking about economic development in the county, around the Lake Monticello area, some of the economic development's happening a little more naturally just because it's got the needed water and sewer infrastructure in place. But that's why the county's really been kind of focusing its efforts on areas outside of the lake to kind of spread the growth out a little bit more, a little more evenly and balanced throughout the county. So again, we're almost finishing. We're very close to having our Zion's Crossroads water and sewer system complete up at Zion's Crossroads.
Good.
Which we're getting water from the women's correctional facility. They have excess capacity water and sewer, but the amount of water that we're getting, it's really a small amount. It's kind of the water starter to kind of get things going, and that's where some of the longer term water sources will certainly help out with further growth there.
Yeah.
So-
Do we have any businesses perhaps dependent or on the cusp of maybe that water coming across from the prison over to Zion? Because it's an attractive area for them.
Yeah, I don't think that we have any businesses that are
Right
being
on.
held up by that right at this moment. I mean,
Yeah.
we certainly have businesses existing and ones that are wanting to expand or build or develop up there that are interested in the water. And like I said, we're very close to having the project complete.
Yeah, I remember some years back, Jennifer, talking with one of your predecessors that we had really substantially strong interest from a small beer. It would be a craft brewery, but obviously there wasn't any water there then, and you can't have a brewery without water, that's for sure.
Yes.
So that kind of they were ready and waiting. Why don't if you have water, we're coming. They had the parcel and all that. But anyway, that's good news when that can break and get into operation.
Yeah,
So-
it's been good. We've been really trying to focus on the infrastructure in the county to kind of spread things out a little bit more and provide that needed infrastructure for businesses for the tax base to kind of diversify a little bit.
Are there any other plans for any other solar fields?
Yeah, the only approved solar facilities right at this point. Besides, there's one up behind Zion's Crossroads off Little Creek Road. There's one that was approved back in. It's already built. It was done back in 2016, 2017, I believe. There's going to be the one right there, right around 53 and South Boston Road, behind the CVEC substation. And then there's been another one that's been approved down off of Carriesbrook Road,
Oh,
which if you take 15 going south, right around where Carriesbrook Elementary School is,
mm-hmm.
and the Department of Social Services, going back down Carriesbrook Road, there's a property owner that has some open fields,
Oh,
and
yeah.
again, there's a planned solar facility there, and again, you're really not going to see that from the road as well because it's kind of further back, kind of off the beaten path and screened space to kind of diversify a little bit.
Well, that's it. All the taxpayers are going to be happy to hear about that because something coming in on the economic development side really takes some of that pressure off of the taxpayer for the, particularly the schools. So,
Certainly does.
so there we are. So thank you very much, both of you, for being here. We have been talking with Fluvanna County Administrator Eric Dahl and with Economic Development Director Jennifer Schmack. Thank you again for coming up.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. So we hope that you will stay tuned for future exciting spotlight programs whenever they may occur. And meanwhile, watch the rest of our offerings up on YouTube or on channel 977, and you can consult the schedule that is on the website. So until next time, on behalf of the LMOA Broadcast Group, I'm Ron Krause. Thanks very much for watching, and good day.